ship disappearances can be very hard to conceive or fathom. You would think that a ship could not just vanish without a trace. But disappearances like that have happened for centuries and still are possible today. Here is one horrifying ship disappearance from history. The SS Naronic was a cargo ship built for the White Star Line in the early 1890s, along with her sister ship, the SS Bovik. Construction on the Naronic began at the Harland & Wolff shipyard at Belfast, Ireland. The Naronic was launched on May 26, 1892, and was completed on July 11, 1892. At the time, the Naronic was the largest cargo ship in service. She was also designed to carry a small number of passengers. The vessel was powered by two reciprocating steam engines that powered twin propellers that could achieve a top speed of 13 knots. The Naronic had a length of 470 feet, or 143 meters, a beam of 53 feet, or 16 meters, and a tonnage of 6,594 gross register tons. She had a capacity for 50 crew members and 15 passengers. On July 15, 1892, Naronic began her maiden voyage from Liverpool to New York, and her sister, the Bovik, would enter service the following month on August 26. Naronic continued to sail between Liverpool and New York, but on February 11, 1893, only 7 months after her maiden voyage, the Naronic departed Liverpool bound for New York under the command of Captain William Roberts. She had 74 people on board and 2,876 tons of cargo. Naronic then stopped at Point Linus, North Wales to drop off her harbor pilot. Naronic then headed out into the Atlantic, but she would never be seen again. The voyage was only supposed to last 10 days, and 11 days later, when she failed to arrive at her destination, nobody was concerned because it was common at that time for ships to arrive behind schedule. In February 1893, strong storms also raged over the Atlantic, which slowed down many ships. And this was 1893, 5 years before the Marconi wireless machine would be installed on ships. So the Naronic had no way of contacting shore or another ship. After a few weeks, concern began to grow in the United States, but the White Star Line wasn't worried about the Naronic. On March 4th, the British steamer SS Coventry found 2 empty lifeboats with Naronic's name on it about 500 miles off the coast of Nova Scotia. One was capsized and the other was floating upright, almost completely swamped. Those lifeboats were the only verified trace of the Naronic ever found. On March 13th, the White Star Line finally declared, "There is now great concern about the ship." The White Star Line then asked other ships that were in Naronic's general area to keep an eye out for the ship. The RMS Teutonic arrived in Queenstown, Ireland, after her course was altered to look for the ship. But the Teutonic found nothing. But then, messages in bottles began to appear. On March 3rd, a message in a bottle was found at Bay Ridge, New York. The message read, "Naronic sinking, all hand praying, God have mercy on us." The message was signed L. Wenzel. On March 30th, another message in a bottle was found at Ocean View, Virginia. It read, 3:10 a.m., February 19th, SS Naronic at sea. To who picks us up? Report when you find this to our agents, if not heard of before, that our ship is sinking fast beneath the waves. It's such a storm that we can never live in the small boats. One boat has already gone with her human cargo below. God let all of us live through this. We were struck by an iceberg in a blinding snowstorm and floated 2 hours. Now at 3:20 a.m. by my watch, and the great ship is dead level with the sea. Report to the agents at Broadway, New York, and Kersey and Company. Goodbye all. It was signed John Olson, Cattleman. In June of that year, a third message in a bottle was found drifting in the Irish Channel. It read, "Struck iceberg, sinking fast, Naronic." The message was signed Young. A fourth message in a bottle, claimed to be from the Naronic, was found on September 18th, drifting in the Mersey River in the UK. It read, "All hands lost, Naronic. No time to say more." The message was signed T. In June of 1893, when all hope of finding the Naronic was gone, The Board of Trade held an inquiry at St. George's Hall in Liverpool, where the Naronic's harbor pilot was interviewed, but he reported nothing out of the ordinary while he was briefly on board. Other than that, the board had very little to work with. The board was also quick to dismiss the iceberg theory in the messages in bottles. They said that there was no ice in the area at the time, despite other ships saying that while they were looking for the Naronic that they had encountered ice. The board also questioned the authenticity of the messages in bottles because none of the signed names, L. Wenzel, John Olson, Young, were on the crew or passenger list. The second bottle was also dismissed as a hoax because they thought it was impossible for the bottle to reach the spot where it was discovered. Even though we can doubt the signed names of the messages in bottle, it was common at that time for crew or passenger lists to be very inaccurate. But it is still hard to confirm the authenticity of the bottle messages. Naronic's ultimate fate remains unknown to this day. We can confirm that something went horribly wrong that caused the ship to sink with all 74 souls on board. It would have been terrifying to those on board to know that there was no way that they could contact for help. And to this day, Naronic's fate remains unknown. He rests at the bottom of the ocean, undiscovered to this day. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss any new uploads from this channel. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.